Hey everybody, it's Steve Halley here with the Family Peace Initiative, and welcome to the January 2023 Facilitator Tool Chest blog. Today I want to talk with you a little bit about emotional dysregulation. I'm sure if you're in the trauma-informed vein, trauma-focused vein, you've probably already read Bruce Perry and Oprah Winfrey's book, What Happened to You? It's a wonderful read about the long-term impact of trauma, the long process of recovery, helping us understand that trauma really does impact us over the lifespan, and we have to be pretty intentional about recovery, about healing. Well, no place is that more evident than in the battery intervention room. You know, there's people sitting in the chairs, men sitting there with trauma stories that are intense and powerful, and many are oblivious to the impact of their trauma to their lifespan and how their trauma histories are affecting them now. Well, one of the strategies that we can use that Bruce Perry talks about in his book, he kind of makes a simple statement that we can't learn to soothe ourselves without becoming dysregulated. We have to become dysregulated to practice self-soothing ourselves and getting ourselves back to an emotionally equilibrium state. Well, there's plenty of opportunities in the battery intervention classroom to practice dysregulation and self-soothing. And you'll find, as you start looking for this and understanding this, is that the participants, generally speaking, are not practiced at becoming dysregulated and self-soothing. They're more practiced at becoming dysregulated and dysregulating those around them, which is kind of the problem with emotional dysregulation. If we are not savvy enough, if we are not self-aware enough, if we are not conscious of our internal focused experience, then what we do is we blast our emotional experience externally onto others. And, you know, in the case of domestic violence, it can become very dangerous. So one of the pieces that we want to add to our program, in addition to accountability, in addition to addressing, you know, beliefs and attitudes that people have about themselves and about their partner, we also want to be able to add a part about practicing dysregulation and regulation, dysregulation and self-soothing. And there's some natural places through most programs where this can occur without changing much of what we're doing. Most programs around the country have some type of presentation or homework assignments that have to be presented to class at different, you know, periods of the person's programming schedule. Well, public speaking is one of the most anxiety-provoking things that we can ask a human being to do. And so here we go. We are now inviting dysregulation. And if we know how to pursue it instead of helping people to avoid it, right? We want to learn to ask people questions that will invite them to become self-aware, to acknowledge their fear, their sadness, their anxiety, their emotional experience, instead of ignoring it, pretending it's not there, or being oblivious to it, not even aware that that emotional response is happening inside of our bodies. So what we do, we ask lots of questions. You know, we have presentations that participants give at different points in their program schedule. And when they do that, we know they're already anxious about preparing for that. Many times they're calling, trying to do it just right, or else they're really minimizing it. They're trying to avoid it and not think about it, which is another more evidence of a defensive, protective posture. But when they're presenting the activity, we want to be asking them, how are they feeling right now? Do you notice what's happening in your body? What does that feeling want to do? What is that feeling mostly about? And helping people learn, much like learning how to swim, how to notice our feelings, notice our emotional activity, notice how it affects us, and what are the strategies to self-soothe, to get our cognitive brain back online. Bruce Perry talks about a lot of things that we can do, from simple breathing and simple movement activities to going for a walk and doing rhythmic things. Dancing is an amazing thing. I would encourage you to incorporate dancing into your battery intervention program. And then I would encourage you to send me an email and tell me how it went. But rhythmic body movement activities are very important to self-soothing. And we would want our participants to learn how to calm themselves, to soothe themselves, to get their cognitive, rational brain back online. So there's places where we incorporate psychodrama activities which are designed to help people tell their stories, to wade into their stories. And many times when we get into those vulnerable aspects of our stories, those places are loaded with emotional energy. And that's a good thing. One, we're helping people to become less afraid of their own story. Right? We're helping people learn that they're not alone, because just listening to other people's stories can have a very healing effect on those around us. But we're also, through the process, activating people's emotional energy, right? Their emotional centers. And that's a good thing, because as a human being, feeling emotional, mad, sad, glad, and afraid is not strange. It is normal. Not feeling is weird. Right? It is evidence. It is diagnostic of something. If people are not feeling energy, it's evidence that something happened, and we want to be able to attend to that. And so we use the psychodramatic processes. We use the processes in the presentations and the homework. We're also talking about mad, sad, glad, and afraid. And when people come in activated, we're teaching people to be aware, to be internally focused, and to learn processes to self-soothe. So I want you to know that your domination and control is domestic violence, right? Domestic violence is about how do we dominate and control another person. But on another level, domestic violence can be seen as an effort to self-soothe, an effort to try to get control of our universe so we don't have to be afraid, an effort to try to manage things so that we don't get hurt, much like we got hurt when we were, in childhood. But learning how to sit with our feelings, to recognize them, and how to manage them is a very important key. And it's something that you can incorporate into your program while you're doing all the other amazing things that you do to help intervene with domestic violence. So I wish you the best while you're getting through January and through the winter. I will put out another one of these in February, and we'll talk a little bit more about the intentionality of emotional dysregulation and how important that is in the world of intervention. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.